So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nick O'Shea, and I graduated from West Bloomfield last year in 2018. Um, about me and my life in high school. In high school, I was a pretty goofy kid. I like to think I was pretty funny, real social, outgoing, friends with everybody. I enjoyed hanging out with students, teammates. I enjoyed coming to school and talking and being around teachers, staff, coaches. I just really enjoyed the entire atmosphere that West Bloomfield created there. And as much as I enjoyed that, I definitely wasn't your perfect student by any means. And I'm sure a lot of you could vouch for that. I hated class. I couldn't sit still for an hour or 2 hours. I hated homework. I felt like the work we were doing was busy work and irrelevant to my life and what I was doing down the road in the future. Out of school, I was a three-sport varsity athlete. I was the kicker and punter for the varsity football team, and I was also on the varsity soccer and golf team. I was really involved in DECA and through my marketing classes, and I did a lot of community service projects through that. Really, and now I go to Morgan State in Baltimore, Maryland. I play Division I football here, and about losing my dad and how it impacted me and people in my life. So for those of you who don't know my story, some of you might. It was in the football season my senior year last year, and I came home from football practice, just a normal day, and I was the first one to come home. And when I got home, there was police cars at my house, and that's where the police officer told me that earlier that day my dad was on his way home from work and passed away from a heart attack. So right after I found out then, first person I called after my mom was Coach Bell. And the first thing he said to me was, "What's your address? I'm coming over." And that's really, that defines how WB reacted to me in my situation. They were there for me every single step of the way from 20 minutes after I found out. And the second that they found out, I couldn't have asked for anything more. It was just the community support for my team, family, friends, everything was just unbelievable. And I was thankful for it then, but now looking back at it, I'm still amazed. Sometimes to this day, I still look back at it and just admire what the West Bloomfield community has going and what they did for me. After this happened, it was surreal to me. It didn't seem real. I didn't want people to see a different Nick. I didn't want things to change. And now looking back at it, I've realized that it was okay for things to change. Things were supposed to change. It was, everything happens for a reason, and it was a life-changing thing that happened, and things are going to change. That's life. But at the time, I didn't want things to change. Growing up, I don't want to say I came from a perfect life by any means, but I had a great family, and I came from a great school with great friends, great teammates, great coaches my entire life, and I couldn't have asked for a better support system or opportunities in my life, and I didn't want things to change. I kind of denied the fact that I wasn't all right for a long time. I would go to school, I would go to football, I would hang out with my friends, I'd be normal Nick, and then I'd go home and just shut down. And that lasted for a while until later on in the year it started to show a little bit. I started to shut down entirely, and people noticed. People asked me if I was all right, asked me, they told me I looked different, not physically, but it looked like I was acting different. I seemed different. I just kept saying, "No, I'm tired, I'm bored." I didn't want to put a burden on other people. I didn't want to upset other people. And going on to the next question, how have I grown from it? The situation really made me who I am today, because I've now realized that what I did after the situation hurt me in the long run. I now know that you need to realize when you're down. You need to realize when you need help. Before this entire event, I was the type, and I'm not proud of it, but I was the guy that thought anxiety and depression were a mindset, like I thought people were being soft. I thought you can just get over things like that. You're feeling bad for yourself, stuff like that. And I knew everyone goes through rough times, but the lasting version of it, of being upset for that long, just I didn't experience and didn't understand how it worked. But now looking at it, I've realized that each person really has a different story, and each person really has things going on behind closed doors that nobody sees, no matter how close you are to them. Some of my best friends, family, my own mom, I didn't ever let her see me upset, I don't think. And, sometimes you gotta open up to people. As uncomfortable as it may be, I was asked every day, multiple times, by multiple different people, if I wanted to talk. I was called on to my counselor, who had a similar event happen in his life when he was the same age. And I still wouldn't open up, no matter how close I was, just because that wasn't me. I didn't think it was. I didn't want to put a burden on other people, and I thought that I kept telling myself that I was okay. That's just how I am. I told myself that I was just ready for college, stuff like that, and it hurt me, but life continued. It like I said, it made me who I am today. I now realize that these are real things, and going off the UMatter week, I think this is great, and that WB does that not all schools do, and you guys should take advantage of this and the resources you guys have that I didn't take advantage of in high school. What tools did I use, and do I still use to get through tough times and days? I think now I just realized that football isn't the most important thing to me anymore. Before this all happened, football was the most important thing to me. It's what I wanted to do. It's what I used as motivation to keep my grades up, because Coach Bell told me a number of times, and I knew that the better your grades are, the more opportunities you'll have to play college sports. And so that's what I used to keep my grades up. Motivation to come to school and stuff like that, I used DECA a lot as well. I wanted to come and make a difference. I wanted to come and do community service projects. I wanted to work with groups. I wanted to do marketing projects that I saw being realistic to me in my future career. And I also realized how lucky we are to wake up every day, nothing's promised, and you just got to take advantage of every moment you have, every opportunity you have. And I didn't do that before. Now I realize that everyone goes through tough things. Everyone goes through tough times. You just got to keep moving. Each person's story is different. My story is different. And also that some people haven't gone through these times. I was that kid that hasn't gone through a time like this, and then it hit me. And it hit me hard. But some people have gone through this their entire lives. Some people are like this right now. Some people in this room, I'm sure. I also, on tough times, tough days, I remember my why, I think about, sometimes I get homesick. Sometimes I miss home, miss my friends, miss my family, and I remember why I'm here. I'm here for a degree. I'm here for my team, and I think everything happens for a reason. Advice for kids going through a hard time in school. You just gotta, like I said, embrace every opportunity. Take it one day at a time. There's not a magic fix to this stuff. And you gotta realize that there's people out there who don't understand it. There really is. And you can't be afraid to speak up. You gotta talk to people about it. I was fortunate enough to have people around me asking me to talk about it. Some people begging me to talk about it. Like, you don't seem okay, let's talk. Calling me down to their office unexpectedly, stuff like that, and I still didn't give in. But even that little conversations we had helped me, and I didn't know it. But now looking back at it, when I got here to Baltimore, and don't get me wrong, I have great teammates, great friends, great coaches here, but people didn't know my story, people didn't know me, and they weren't asking about it. And like I said, I wasn't the type of guy to go talk about it. and it hurt me when I first got here too. It was real tough. I got down on myself here a little bit. I was homesick, and you just got to keep family close. And I'm not talking about family as in blood, mom, sister, dad, uncle, aunts. That, don't get me wrong, that's as important as well. But also friends, teachers, just anyone that you would trust. You gotta find people you trust and find people you feel comfortable around. Find people you like being around and open up to them. You got to talk to them. Be honest with yourself more than anything, though. I wasn't honest with myself, and it's tough to be because you don't want to accept these tough times. But now looking back at it, I try to be as honest with myself as I can through every situation. And I still look back at that situation and think of what I should have done differently. I look at conversations I had and opportunities I had that I didn't take because I was down and turned down opportunities that I would have. There's opportunities I had towards the end of high school that I would have loved to do before everything. I would have been the first one to jump on it, and I changed, and I didn't admit it to myself. And so a message to Laker Nation, I think you just have to know and trust that you're at the right place. WB's a special place. WB did everything for me. They made me who I am today. WB was still is my second home. I was home last month, and the first place I went was to go see my teachers, coaches, the staff, students and friends at WB. Even just walking into that school, walking onto that field, I missed it. I would do anything to go back to West Bloomfield for another 4 years or even another year. There's so many opportunities that you guys have at your fingertips that you need to take advantage of, because those opportunities, once they're missed, and there's no going back on it. Looking back at it, there's so many opportunities I see now that you guys have that some I wish I had in high school, and others I did have and didn't take advantage of and wish I would have. You just got to be thankful for every day. Nothing's promised, you know. Got to be thankful for every day and remember that everything happens for a reason. I'm grateful for WB and everything they've done to me, the relationships I've made through that school, and I think you guys one day will be as well if you're not already. So I want to thank everyone for listening.